What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. We are doing 32 teams in 32 days, and today is day 10. So I'm almost one third through the teams. We've already finished up the AFC North. We've already finished up the AFC East, and we are down in the South. I just finished up wrapping up the Titans, and now we are on to the Indianapolis Colts. So if you're not familiar with my previews, what we do is we talk about what happened this past offseason. The additions, the re-signings, the departures, the draft picks, strengths, weaknesses, and all that fun stuff. So, like I said, we're talking about the Colts. Last year on this very podcast, I predicted the Colts would go 9-7. And they ended up going 11-5. The thing that really caught me off guard with this Colts team is that defense. I did not expect that defense to step up in the way that it did. It was not only making some splash plays, but it was very consistent. The only time that defense dipped is when Darius Leonard went out for a little bit. And other than that, that defense was really good. I think they kind of overperformed in a way, which isn't a bad thing. So let's jump to the additions. The big one that we're all talking about is Carson Wentz is now with the Colts. They have a little reunion with the former coach. They bring back Marlon Mack, T.Y. Hilton, Julian Davenport, Eric Fisher, and Xavier Rhodes. When I look at those additions, like I said, Carson Wentz is a huge one. He's taken over for Phillip Rivers. Xavier Rhodes was pretty big to bring back because, when we saw the last year or two, he was in Minnesota. He went from elite, top 5 corner in the NFL to a guy who was a complete liability. I thought he played pretty well last year overall. Definitely a lot better than he was in, like I said, the previous 2 years. T.Y. Hilton, they brought him back. A lot of people thought he was going to be gone, including me. Eric Fisher is going to help kind of, ease that pain of losing Anthony Costanzo. So let's jump to the departures because I've already mentioned a few of them. Like I said, Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, Trey Burton, Anthony Costanzo, Danico Autry, Justin Houston, and Malik Hooker. Anthony Costanzo really jumps out to me. Phillip Rivers, obviously their quarterback, but he was really helped out by the supporting cast last year. With Naheem Hines, with Jonathan Taylor, when Marlon Mack was still there, Pittman, T.Y. actually struggled at the end of the year, but he ended up picking it up toward the end, that offensive line. So, I think if Carson Wentz is any kind of that form that we saw early into his career, I think it's probably a little bit of an upgrade as far as the quarterback position. Brissett's gone. That's a backup. Trey Burton wasn't really much of anything. Costanzo's a pretty big loss. We saw he was one of the best tackles in the league for a while. Justin Houston's still on the free agent market, so we can't take it out of the realm of possibilities that he comes back. And Malik Hooker was a big-time player when he was healthy, but that was pretty rare. When we jump to the 2021 NFL draft for the Indianapolis Colts, we've talked about that defense, how they've kind of overperformed. They are really solid, but they kind of lacked a little bit of a pass rush just from that front four. They kind of had to manipulate and kind of manufacture getting those pass rushes. So they jump in the first 2 rounds and they get some edge guys. In the first round, they get Kwity Paye from Michigan. He's a twitched up athlete. Never really had the production in Michigan, but he's a big time athlete. And if he can be coached up, he is going to be special. In the second round from Vanderbilt, they get, and sorry if I butcher this name, Deo Ndengbo, who I've seen some experts say that he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. He's going to be an All-Pro. So some people are really big fans of him. I actually kind of personally like him a little bit more than Kwity Paye. I thought he was a little bit of a reach. He's more of a project than I think people kind of realize. But this was a pretty weak class as far as top tier edge rushers. So they go ahead and do those 2 picks. They get Kylan Granson and Sean Davis. Overall, I think they attacked what they needed as far as the draft. Maybe they could have addressed receiver a little bit more. Behind Pittman and Ty, I don't love their depth chart. As far as team strengths go, I think their offense takes a big step forward. I think we're going to see the best of Carson Wentz, or almost the best of Carson Wentz in this year one, because this isn't a new system to him. This is something that he did when he was with the Eagles with Frank Reich. I think Pittman steps up to be their true number 1 receiver. He's a guy that I think was kind of undervalued in last year's draft. He doesn't have that top tier athleticism that you see like from a DK Metcalf, but he's a lot more of a complete receiver than most guys. He's big, he's strong. He kind of reminds me of like almost a bigger Juju Smith-Schuster in a way. And we finally kind of, I think we're going to finally see Paris Campbell kind of step up. And I mentioned I didn't love the receiving core behind Ty and Michael Pittman. And it's because like someone like a Paris Campbell, we haven't seen produce yet. But I think this year he finally gets to step up if he can stay healthy. I thought we were going to see it last year. We ended up not. But so I do think their offense takes a big step forward, and it's going to help that defense. As far as team weakness, I just mentioned it, man. It's pass rush. We know what DeForest Buckner can do, but I think they're going to be depending on, Pay a little bit too much, and Dangbo a little bit too much, and it's going to be kind of tough for them to get the job done. For biggest question marks, it's 100% is can you find that magic that you had in Philly with Carson Wentz and Frank Reich? Can they really bring that back? Because, people kind of forget because they've been so down on Carson Wentz is he almost won a league MVP until he broke his leg and Nick Foles ended up, winning Super Bowl MVP. He was on fire. He was killing the league. He was doing very, very well. His rookie season, I can't even remember how many straight games he rattled off, but he was very, very productive. So, can we get that Carson Wentz is the biggest question, because if they don't, they're probably ceilings like a 9-10 win team. If they get Carson Wentz from, that MVP, almost MVP year, I think they could be a 12-13 win team. Or does it fall somewhere in the middle? I'm not sure. As far as record prediction, I think that defense maybe takes a slight step back. I think that offense might either stay the same or take a slight step forward. So I think they're going to be contending for that wild card spot. I think the Titans end up winning this division. It's going to be really close. But I'm kind of torn between a 9-8 and a 10-7 for this Colts team. I'm going to say 9-8, just because I think, Carson Wentz, I'm just not 100% sold that he's right upstairs. And I don't mean any disrespect by that. I'm not sure if he can kind of find that magic again. As far as bold predictions are concerned, I had a hard time figuring out one for the Colts. I ended up going with, I think the Colts really struggled at the beginning of the season. I think they ended up starting the first 5 games like 1-4. And I think people are going to be saying Carson Wentz was a huge mistake. Jonathan Taylor's not the guy. He was just kind of college hype and he had a decent rookie year. But I think they figure out how to right the ship. And whether that's, making that 7th wild card or that 7th seed, 3rd wild card spot in the AFC, or they, come close to missing out. But I think they do right the ship, and the future is going to look bright for this team. But other than that, I couldn't really figure out another like super hot take bold prediction for this Colts team. But I don't think it's a great team. I don't think it's a bad team. But it's going to be interesting because I do think they can swing either way pretty easily into being a, top 10 pick in the NFL draft to being a playoff team that wins, round 1, round 2. So it's going to be interesting to see. Indianapolis Colts fans, let me know what you guys think. Do you think I got it right? Do you think I got it wrong? Am I off base? Drop in the comments what you guys think, as far as a record prediction or who you think is going to be a breakout star, because I'm curious, man. I love to talk football. That's why I do this. All right, so drop that comment, click like, click subscribe, help support the show, guys, please, because that's the only way I can grow. And make sure you guys check out the rest of my breakdowns for the AFC South and just the rest of the AFC and NFL. Like I said, support the show. Guys, I will see you next time. Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking around for the entire video. Thank you for supporting the show, clicking that like button, subscribing, comments, all that fun stuff. If you could just take one more second and check out Rep Sports, check out Raise Energy. They are partnered with this podcast. They are help supporting me. So if you go and check them out, it's the best tasting energy drink on the market. 100% guaranteed. They have supplements, protein, pre-workouts, recovery, all that stuff. If you guys check them out and you use promo code SportsMuse when checking out, you get 15% off of your order. And who doesn't like, some money off of their purchase? That's awesome. So definitely check them out. And like I said, it helps support me. It helps support them. So please check them out, guys. And thank you again so much for sticking around.